Alright, welcome to the stream. Early morning flight here out of Hilo to Honolulu. The weather looks pretty good, and the aircraft is being loaded up at the moment. We'll go ahead and jump inside the aircraft and start our preliminary cockpit prep. So as you can see, the external power is on, so we'll get the IRS aligned here. So we're being fueled up at the moment. Alright, that's good. Alright, so align right across the board. Elevation is 50, we'll put that in. Alright, database is current, February 25th to March 25th. We're gonna input PHTO for Hilo. And we're gonna check our GPS position. We have 1943.1. 1943.1, that's alright, we'll copy and paste. So PHTO to PHNL. And we're just gonna grab our... Alright, so today's flight number is ABX506, so we'll put that in, JB506. And we're gonna go to the routing here. Alright, so it's gonna be UPP Victor 16 and Lane here. We'll go ahead and activate that. Alright, so it looks like looks like weather did come in here, so as expected. Alright, so we do have the routing in, and we'll go ahead and loading is not yet completed yet. So what we'll do is we'll go into route 2, and we're gonna put in Hilo as our destination, just in case we need to return back to the field. 506, and we will ILS. We'll put an ILS 26 via Fame up. That should be okay. Now we'll go back to route 1. Perf initial here. Okay, that's good for now. And we're just gonna do a light test here. Make sure everything is working. All the lights are good. Do a wheel well fire test here. oxygen test right there, and oxygen test is good. That's all good. Loading should be completed. Alright, so we have 228.440 fuel weight, 228.4. Alright, final reserves 3.9, we'll put that in, 3.9. Cruise altitude, flight level 280. Cost index is 51. Alright. So we're still waiting for our IRS to align. It should be any minute now. Alright, so 27th of February 2021, helo to Honolulu as a B763F series. Average winds for the route here is 274 at 24 knots. It's about a 48-minute flight. And in Honolulu should land at about 12.1 on board. Let's go look at our maps. We do have moderate turbulence to the east. As far as our route of flight, we should be okay. Our top of climb should be around here somewhere. We should start our descent here. Might get a bit of mountain air turbulence once we get closer to Honolulu, which is pretty much normal. But other than that, we're looking for a smooth flight. Alright, so we do have the IRS aligned here, so we'll do our checklist here. Circuit breakers and emergency equipment checked, oxygen tested at 100%, IRS selectors off, then a nav hydraulic panel is set, air conditioning and pressurization is set and auto. We can turn on the recirculation fan here. We'll get the APU started as well. Window heat is off at the moment. We'll turn it on closer to departure. Flight instruments heading 171, and we'll put in the altimeter here. The altimeter is 3011. Alright, and altitude set at 50. Throttles closed, fuel control switch is cut off, gear pin is removed, and parking brake is set. Pre-flight checklist is complete. And our departure will be the PKO1 departure. via Upolu Point. I'll be off of runway 26. I'm going to go ahead and execute that. And we're also going to put in, so that's okay, so that's executed there. So we're going to go back and we're going to put in the arrival here. So we're looking at Joule 5, Lanai transition, and we'll be planning for ILS 8 left. So 8 left, and we'll do the Oka initial approach fix there, and we'll execute that. Joule, we'll expect Joule at or below 14,000, and that's correct there, will be 12.2, that's fine. Alright, that works good. So we have heading 259 off the departure. APU is running, we'll turn on the APU gen. Yaw dampers can come on. Fuel truck. Get the pushback truck can come in now.
Tow is driving up.
All right, let's do our takeoff performance. All right, so it'll be Imperial. 248, 248, 853. Airport is PHTO. Be off of runway 26. Condition wet. Winds 020 at 8 knots.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Probably be best for looking at the winds here. we'll do a runway change. So we're gonna go back to departure. PHTO, it'll be off of runway 8. For route 2, so index, looks okay. For performance, will be off of runway 8. Winds is 020 at 8 knots. Temperature is 21. 3011 for altimeter. We're going to do a flaps 5 takeoff. Air conditioning is off. Alright, so we have flaps 5. And 20. So we have 125 for V1, 129, and 135 for V2. 020 at 8 knots and 21 degrees. Change that to 079. Alright, that's perfect. Let's do our departure briefing here. Current weather at Hilo, winds is 020 at 8 knots. Visibility is 1 miles and 3/4. Heavy rain with mist. Few clouds at 800. Broken at 2400. Overcast 4600. Temperature 21. Dew point is 18. Altimeter is 3011, which is set on both sides. The aircraft. No MELs on the aircraft. The aircraft is airworthy. Airport NOTAMs. We'll bring up the our flight package here. Our NOTAMs, airport NOTAMs, taxiway Lima, east of runway 03 and 21, ponding during heavy rain. So we'll definitely check that out while we're taxiing, because we're going to be taxiing in the vicinity of taxiway Lima. Approach procedure, just in case if anything were to malfunction and we need to return back to the field. Runway 26, radar required except for aircraft equipped with suitable RNAV system with GPS. So we are equipped with RNAV and GPS. They do have an amendment for our ILS 26 misapproach, climb to 500, then climbing right turn to 3300 on a heading of 100. To Hilo, and then we will hold. We'll hold at the 3300 for further clearance. That's it for NOTAMs. Noise abatement will be a standard noise abatement procedure. We'll reduce the thrusts at 1,000 feet above airfield elevation. Taxi routing. At the moment, we're parked at the cargo ramp. We're going to plan for either Mike. We'll plan for Bravo. Exit the ramp off of Bravo, and then we'll make a left on Alpha. Cross runway 21, and there'll be a full-length takeoff off of runway 8. This is Lima right here, so we don't have to worry about that. And the departure procedure for runway 08, we have top of altitude set 10,000, heading is 079 on the MCP. Runway 8, climb on heading is 079 to 538 feet, then left turn direct PHTO, and then continue with the departure. MSA is 15,000 in the area within 30 miles of runway 21. And we'll use LNAV and VNAV for automation. We'll go ahead and do the emergency brief. In the event of a malfunction prior to V1, I'll call reject. We'll use, my items are reversers normal, max auto brake. We'll inform ATC, ABX506 heavy stopping. And once we've come to a complete stop, we'll set the parking brake and we'll go through the ICAS actions. In the event of a serious malfunction after a V1, we will continue the takeoff. Nothing will be done except silence the oral warnings, and we'll level the aircraft at engine out altitude, which is at 1,000 feet above elevation, and we'll clean the aircraft on schedule, continue with the ICAS actions, and we'll inform ATC that we need to return to the field. And we will plan for the ILS runway 26 if we do happen to return, as that's the only one, that's the only precision approach at the moment with the weather, as it is below minimums for a visual approach, and there will be a slight tailwind on the approach as well. We are at below landing weight, so we'll be able to return for an immediate landing. And the emergency brief is complete. We'll close up the doors here. Stairs. Alright, we'll get the hydraulic, we've been cleared to pressurize the aircraft. That's good, fuel pumps can come on. That's alright. Trim will be at 2.3. That's set up. LNAV for lateral navigation. Auto brake set to RTO. Alright, let's do our before start checklist. Fuel 20.9 tons on board, windows locked, seatbelt sign on, door light is out. MCP, we have V2135 heading 079, initial climb 10,000 feet. We do have LNAV selected. Takeoff thrust will be EPR 1.56 normal thrusts. Takeoff speed, we have 125 for V1, rotate speed at 129, V2 at 135. It'll be a flaps 5 takeoff, packs off as well. CDU pre-flight completed, trim 2.3 units with rudder 0.0, taxi and takeoff briefing complete. Get the beacon on, and we'll go in for the pushback. And before start, checklist is complete.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. So
Looks
connected
good.
and flight path been inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brake released.
Starting pushback. And you may start engine.
Switch over the engine page. Alright, we'll start the right engine first, then the left engine. We'll use igniters 1. Turn off the packs. We got duct pressure rising. Ramp looks clear. We can go ahead and start the right engine. Starting the right. N2 spooling up. We're going to wait for 18%. Alright, 18% to run. EGT rising, N1 is spooling up. We'll monitor the parameters here. Alright, we got a good start on the right engine. We'll go ahead and start the left engine. Starting left engine. And we're going to wait for 18% and 2. Fuel control switches to run. EGT rising and 1 spooling.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by. Is disconnected and bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Alright, we'll give you the thumbs up on the left side for the pin. Thanks for the help. Alright, we have a good start on the left engine. Or engine start switches to both. Left and right to continuous. We can turn on the window heat here. APU can come off. APU gen off as well. Packs can come on for now. And he's got the pin, that's perfect. We'll do a recall switch, parking brake is on and APU gen is off, that's correct. Left and right installation closed off. Alright, let's do the after start checklist. Probe heat is on, anti-ice off, left and right isolation valve is off, fuel control switches run and locked, flight deck door closed and locked. After start checklist complete. Flaps 5. We'll do a flight control check here. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder left, rudder right, neutral. Back to engine page. Alright, before taxi checklist recall, check, flight control, check, flaps 5, set and configured, auto brakes RTO, speed brake lever is down, ground equipment, clear left, and clear right. Need much thrust today, as we're only carrying about 30,000 tons of cargo, so not much. We'll do a quick brake check here. Brake check is good. Be a left turn on Alpha. Runway's cleared on the left, and we're just going to check here. Left side or the right side looks good. We're going to turn on the strobes. Alright, let's review the departure here. It'll be a runway Alpha runway 8, V1 125, VR 129, V2 135, thrust of 1.56 EPR, be a flaps 5 takeoff with packs off. We'll go ahead and turn off the packs. And we have the transponder set, the departure frequency is set as well. V2 set on the SMP 135, heading at 079, initial climb at 10,000. Let's do the before takeoff checklist. Takeoff briefing reviewed. Before takeoff checklist is complete. Approach path is cleared. Departure path is clear as well. We'll turn on the lights. Transponder to on. Alright, takeoff. Knots, thrust set. V1, rotate. And we're going to start making that left turn. Gear up. Thrust can go to 1.50. VNAV selected. Speed check flaps 1. And speed check flaps up. Alright, left pack auto. Left command on. Alright, right pack to auto. And wipers can come off. Bring it up to flight level 280 for cruise, final cruise. Alright, let's do the after takeoff checklist. Landing gear up and off, no lights. The flaps up. After takeoff checklist complete. At 10,000 feet, landing lights off. Switches can go back to auto. Bank angle to auto position as well. To route, we'll do a route copy here. So with minimal thrusts, I believe it was 84% N1, the aircraft was just a rocket out of helo. Not sure if we're able to see anything out here. Our transition altitude. Our 29 or 902 set and cross-check passing flight level 183. To go for flight level 280, VNAV path. Alright, let's go ahead and make sure that the arrival is set up here. The airport elevation is 13. So we'll plug that in, 13. So from Lanai, that'll be Grammy, Sobao, Sarah, Saki, and Jewel. And we'll cross Jewel below 14,000. Then from there it's going to be Alana. And expect vectors to a final approach course. So let's do the approach briefing here, as things are going to get really quick here towards descent. Current weather at Honolulu, winds 070 at 11 knots, visibility 10 miles, light rain, few at 2200, few clouds at 2200, few clouds at 5500, scattered at 8000, temperature at 22, dew point 18, altimeter 3010. NOTAMs for Honolulu. We have our taxiway Charlie, 220 feet north of taxiway Delta, and 450 north of taxiway Delta is closed. I believe we're going to be planning to exit off of taxiway Echo rather than Delta because it is closed. Taxiway Bravo, between taxiway Bravo 1 and taxiway Delta, closed for aircraft parking. As we do have a bunch of aircraft parked, any aircraft that are not being used. So as far as the runway, runway 8 left, 26 right, not grooved. All right. That's about it for NOTAMs for Honolulu. We're going to look at we've already went through our star. We're going to look at our taxi. We're going to talk yeah, for our, we're going to plan for ILS runway 8 left, and we're going to fly from Uka, Ritz, Jevitt. We'll plan Jevitt at 3500. The localizer is 111.7, and OBS course is 079, so we'll set that up. 0.7 OBS is 079. And our Jevitt at 3500 will intercept the localizer as soon as the glide slope is alive. We'll intercept that, and we'll fly down to the runway. We'll cross the outer marker at 1983, so we'll make sure the marker is turned on so we can hear the sound. Glide slope angle is a 3-degree glide slope, and we should be able to see the airport visually around 2000, so we'll disconnect the autopilot and fly the aircraft visually. If not, we'll continue down to minimums, and our decision altitude is, or decision height is 200, so we'll put that in for decision height 200. And for any reason we do not have the airport in sight, we will do a missed approach. Missed approach is climb to 500, then climbing a right turn to 5000. Outbound the Honolulu VOR 171 to Elena, and hold. We'll continue the climb and hold to 5000. So we do have significant terrain to the northwest, northeast sector, so we'll keep an eye on that. For the approach, MSA is 5300, and if you do a misapproach, the misapproach segment will be MSA would be 4400. For our taxi routing, runway 8 left. We'll use level 1 auto brakes with minimum or with idle thrusts or idle reverse thrust, and we'll plan to exit since Delta is closed. We'll continue down the runway, exit off of Echo, and they'll give us clearance to cross 4 left and 4 right at Echo, and then we'll make a right turn on Charlie to the cargo ramp, so it'll be a short taxi. Alright, we'll go ahead and start our descent. And as far as automation, we'll use the autopilot to intercept the localizer and the glide slope. And once we have the runway in sight, we'll disconnect the autopilot, fly the aircraft in manual. Approach briefing is complete. So the south side of the island of Oahu does get a bit turbulent, so we can expect some moderate chops on the approach almost every time. Alright, so we've started our descent. Our initial descent is 14,000. For initial ref, will be flaps 30. Yeah, so flaps 30 plus 5 will do 130. So we'll plug that in 30. Page. Put 6. That's for our. That's the outer marker as a reference. And the ILS for runway 8 left has DME built in already, so. Don't really need any other VOR associated with the approach. So let's do the descent checklist. Pressurization, landing altitude set, 10 feet. Seatbelt sign on. Let's do a recall check. Our recall check is good. Auto brakes is level 1. And the landing data is flaps 30, VREF 130 minimums, 200 set on both sides. Approach briefing is completed. Descent checklist complete. This is optional here, but I can go through it for you guys here. So we're gonna look for ATC Flight Plan, and we're gonna take a look at our alternate today is Maui, which it's only a 36-minute flight from at flight level 170. I'm just going to highlight the route for you. And what we can do here is we can actually put it into our route 2 here. So we go to route 2. So it would be PH. Maui is PHOG. We're just going to put in the flight number here, so it's going to be 506. And so the route will be LNY. And let's go into our arrival camps 3, and it'll be ILS 2. Let's just double check. Just approaching transition altitude here. We'll put in the altimeter. We got 3010. We'll put that in. 3010 set, and cross check passing flight level 180. Alright, so we do have, so in the route 2 there, we have our alternate route set up for Maui, and this is the star, so Lanai, KK, and to intercept the Alice runway 02. So just in case we need to divert, it's already in our FMS, and we just have to activate it, and then we're good to go. So that's all set up for that. Drop down to 8,000. do a flight level change. Do 280 for now. And we'll go direct to Oka. We're supposed to cross Uka at 6,000 feet at max 210 knots. So we'll put 6,000 here. We'll get the engine page on here. Let's do the approach checklist altimeters. We have 3010 set both sides. Nav aids, we have ILS 8 left, 111.7 with the OBS course is 079. And approach checklist is complete. As we drop down below the cloud covers here, there's the tip of Oahu here. And we'll go ahead and slow down to 240 knots. Drop, get a little speed break in there. 10,000 landing lights on. Engine switches to continuous. Bank angle to 25. Let's do VS. Get a gradual descent. So you can see a bit of Hawaii here, or Oahu here. There's Waikiki Beach. And we'll go ahead and slow down to 210 knots. So this would be Hanama Bay right there. You got some good snorkeling over there. It's just too bad it's cloudy. Diamond Head should be right here. That's Diamond Head right there. You got beaches of Waikiki here. There's Honolulu. Alright, so we get a bit of spoilers here. We'll slow down to 190. Get some flaps out too as well. Alright, we have 800 to go. There's our 6 mile radius or radial radius, so that's going to indicate the outer marker here. I'm going to drop down to 44. Speed check flaps 1. And after Ritz, we can drop down to 3,500. And 800 to go for 4,400. Drop down to 35. Speed check flaps 5. Slow down to 180. Check out your fancy resorts there. And the ILS DME is active. India Hotel November Lima. Localizer and glide slope is live. We have the airport, we have the runway in sight. We'll go and disconnect the autopilot and disconnect the auto throttle. And there's this turbulence there we're talking about. Let's set to VREF 130. Miss approach altitude is 5,000. Flight directors can come off. Gear down. Right, flaps 15. Speed check, flaps 20. Here's our auto marker. All right, speed check, flaps 30. Landing checklists. Speed brake levers armed. Auto brake. Level 1. Landing gear down 3 green. Flaps 30 set and configured. Landing checklist complete. Stabilized. land. Spoilers up. Reverser's normal. Manual braking. And we're gonna try and get echo. And reverser's stowed. Spoilers down, flaps up. All right, clear right, clear left. Start the APU. Let's do the after landing checklist. Anti-ice off. APU started. Auto brakes off. Clear left. And clear right. Speed brake lever down, flaps up, and weather radar is off. Strobes off. Go to status page here, and our APU should get that running in about a minute or so. Landing checklist complete. A 47, about a 45-minute flight. I'm just going to turn off our taxi light here. Parking brake set. Fuel control to cut off, and we're going to wait for -10. And there we go, beacon off. And fuel pumps off. Left and right isolation on. Transponder standby. We'll go shut down. Fuel pumps off. Anti-ice off. Windows heat container off. Hydraulic panel set. Fuel panel is set. Parking brake set. Fuel control switches cut off. Shutdown checklist is complete. And that was the approach here in Honolulu. A little bit bumpy towards the start of the approach, and it really smoothed out at around 1,200 feet. Also, what we can do is we can do the instant replay. So it does get really bumpy here, especially around the mountains. There's our outer marker. Actually, see get the flaps out there. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll probably do a stream later tomorrow or Monday. Probably do an Airbus stream. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.